Welcome back. You tune into Market Fatafat, where we are getting you all the buzzers in trade. And now we are joined by Kunal Parar, who's the Vice President Technical Research and Algo Choice Equity Broking, joining us. Hi Kunal, thank you so much for joining us. Kunal, your first stock is Bajaj Finserv, a clear outperformer in the market, also bucking the trend. You know, it has given gains of upwards of 19%, 20% returns coming in the last 6 months. From here on, where do you see the stock headed? Do you see the positive momentum to continue? Another counter which is getting closer to its 52-week high.
Hi, good afternoon. The way stock has been trading on its daily chart, I think we may see a further upside momentum in the counter. Recently, stock has made its all-time high. Stock has also given a breakout of its 1900 level, which was like acted as strong resistance for the counter. So, the way stock has been trading, we may see a positive rhythm in the counter during coming up trading session. So, one can get into the stock at present level. Right now, stock is trading at 2104 level. And if we talk about downside support, and support comes at 1950. The way stock has been trading on a daily chart, I think, we may see a very pretty upside momentum up to the level of 2220. And if stock breaks this level, then further upside would be there up to the level of 2400. So Bajaj Finserv looks very attractive in terms of weekly chart, in terms of daily charts.
All right, moving on then from Bajaj Finserv to another name from the financial pack, and that's Jio Financials. That's reported its quarter 4 numbers, and we did see the stock gain 1.5% in the morning trade, though it has declined since then, has turned absolutely flat. It is in the red right now. But if you look at the results, we did see an uptick of 18% on a year-on-year basis as far as Jio Financial is concerned. The net profit was up 1.8% on a year-on-year basis. The AUM came in at 10,053 crore rupees versus 1,173 crores in the month of March 2024. Also, Jio Finance has expanded its physical presence from tier 1 cities. It has expanded its presence to tier 2 and tier 3 cities. Jio Payments Bank Limited, the customer base has also increased. It's 3x increase on a year-on-year basis to 2.31 million. Also, the CASA and the wallet has increased to 2,905 crores, which is a 3x jump on a year-on-year basis. Now, the business correspondent network grew almost 6x on a year-on-year basis to 14K. Plus, to fuel the further growth aspirations and support the growing scale of the diverse business, JFSL has infused an additional equity of 1,346 crores in the group entities, including Jio Finance, Jio Payment Bank, and the joint ventures with BlackRock and for the asset management and wealth management. And they have also declared a dividend of 0.5 rupees per share. And back of that, Jio Financials is in focus today.
All right, so that's about Jio Financials. But Ansh, tell us, why is JSW Steel in focus today?
Well, company's subsidiary JSW Italy PMBO has signed a development contract with the Italian government intended to revive the historical import and industrial site called as Steel Works of Piombino, and this will be done by the way of modernization of the facilities and enhancement of industrial activity. Also, if you see on chart, then the stock is trading with a gain of more than 2%, and the stock is up by around 14% as compared to its April lows. Also, it is trading above the 20 DMA, and apart from this, it is actually trading above all key DMA level, and it has surpassed above 20 DMA today itself.
All right, that's about JSW Steel. But with this, let's move on. And Kunal, believe that even you are tracking JSW Steel on the technical front. Tell us more on that.
Yes, right now stock is trading at 132, and we have been witnessing very smart recovery in the counter from the level of 910 to 132. Now, the way stock has been trading on a daily chart, I think one can see stock has been trading in a broadening rising wedge formation, and recently it took the support of the lower band of the formation. Not only this, if we talk about the other long-term moving averages, then the stock has been trading above all its long-term moving averages, and it's near to break. It's near to give a breakout about its all-time high. So it will be like trading in uncharted territory. So all this situation goes in favor for creating a long position only for the counter. Right now, one can get into the stock at present level 1031, and If we talk about downside support, then the way stock has been trading, downside support comes at 980. If we talk about target wise, the way stock has been trading on a daily chart, we may see a very good pretty upside momentum up to the level of 1075. And if stock breaks this hidden resistance, then further march towards the northward direction up to the level of 1140 would be there. So we may see a good upside momentum up to the level of 1075 to 1140, but strict stop loss of 980.
Alright, that's about JSW Steel, so let's watch out for that. We told you what is the fundamental news flow as well as how is the stock shaping up when it comes to the technical front. But let's also talk about the banking major ICICI Bank, because definitely a great set of numbers is what we have seen from the bank in Q4, definitely surpassing the street estimates. And what we have seen is that even in the con call, the management commentary has been quite convincing. The company did showcase a healthy balance sheet growth as well as the asset quality has seen an improvement. And the ICICI Bank is one of the gold standard in the banking space and will continue to see an expansion in the multiple. That's the call coming in from Anand Rathi, and all these brokerages have definitely given a thumbs up. As we see that the stock was very near to its all-time high levels and the street was actually building in a great set of numbers coming in. So on the back of that, ICICI Bank did had a gap up start, but now trading almost flat, but nevertheless not very far from its all-time high levels. If we talk about some of the other internals, then the asset quality continues to improve. The retail delinquencies have peaked out is what these analysts are highlighting, and there has been better NIMs and easing liquidity cycle. And they expect the fees to grow in line with the assets. That's also the call coming in from Anand Rathi. So that's about ICICI Bank. The stock is trading flat as we speak right now.
All right, moving on then. We also had the ICICI Bank con call highlights. Let's go across and take a look at that.
As far as the loan growth is concerned, I don't think anything specific incrementally in terms of caution on the credit side. I think we are pretty comfortable with what we are underwriting. Of course, on personal loans and cards, as you know, we had tightened, a few quarters ago, and that is showing up in the volumes over the last couple of quarters and the loan growth. But other than that, no specific caution on the credit side. I would say it's largely a function of what is happening in the system. And also, I guess, on the pricing side, some consciousness given that, during this quarter, we were at the sort of cusp of the, downward movement in benchmark rates. So we had to be, I think, a little more, I would say, disciplined in terms of the spreads, etc., that we were charging over the benchmark. But other than that, no specific caution. So there was no one-off in the yield on advances. I think probably the largest component driving up the yield was what we had spoken of, in I think Q2 and Q3 last year, which is the benefit of the day count. Margin number to focus on in our mind is really the 4.3% for the full year. That would be a more representative number.
Which one should I take? Okay. All right. Moving on then. Let's move on to the next counter that was doing pretty well in morning trade. In fact, it's still trading upwards of 4% and 4.5% almost now. And, it has maintained that consistently since the get-go. In fact, it has maintained those levels since morning, and it is Divi's Lab on the back of the fact that the company has entered into a long-term international manufacturing and supply agreement with a global pharma company for advanced intermediates with no upfront payment involved. The deal is expected to contribute significantly to the revenue and is planning for capacity addition at its manufacturing facility with an estimated investment of almost 650 to 700 crore rupees that is likely to be funded through internal accruals. And on the back of this, Divi's Lab is up in a way 4.4% in trade.
Alright, so that's about Divi's Lab, but Power is one such space which is definitely powering ahead. And Kunal, Power Grid is what you are tracking in today's trading session. The stock is already up more than 2%, I believe, but tell us, where do you see the stock headed?
Well, definitely we have been witnessing very good upside momentum in the counter since morning, and it's up by 3.5%. Not only this, the way stock has been trading on its upper rising channel formation, it clearly indicates further upside momentum from the present level. And if we talk about daily and weekly chart, stock has been trading above all its long-term moving averages. So it clearly indicates that the long-term trend is up only one can get into the stock at present level. If we talk about SL side and downside, strong support comes at 298. Right now, stock is trading at 320. So the way stock has been trading on a daily chart, I think we may see a very good upside momentum in the counter up to the level of 337. And if stock breaks this hidden resistance, then further upside would be there up to the level of 365. So one can expect somewhere around 13 to 14% of return from this counter power grid. So definitely it looks very attractive with strict stop loss of 298.
All right, that's power grid on the charts. But moving on, Ansh, you picked out Adani Green for us. Tell us why have you picked out this particular counter?
So company's wholly owned subsidiary Adani Green Energy 24 Limited has been operationalized incremental to this wind power project of around 48 megawatt in Gujarat. Now with this operationalization of this plant, Adani Green's total operational revenue generation capacity has increased directly to 14,290 megawatt. Also, if you see on chart, then the stock is trading with a gain of almost 1%, and the stock is actually up by around 25% if we compared with that March lows, trading above the 20 and 50 DMA levels.
Alright, that's about Adani Green, but Kunal, Hindalco is the next stock that you are tracking, and metals are definitely shining bright. But tell us what is exactly that you are penciling in when it comes to Hindalco.
Well, right now stock is trading at 623, and stock took the support of its previous bottom, which was placed at 550. And if you talk about the earlier momentum, then after taking the support of its 550, it went up to the level of 715. So we are expecting the same replicate momentum in the counter from the present level. Not only this, it has been trading over its 100 and 200 MA on an hourly chart. Even on a weekly chart, it has taken the support of its previous top, which has now become a good support for the counter. So this meta counter works, I think, do some very good for our investors, for our traders. So the way stock has been trading, I think one should get into the stock at present level. Right now trading at 623. If you talk about SL side, then SL comes at 580. No doubt it's a little bit lower level, but yeah, this is a perfect SL. One can get into at present level with strict stop loss 580. If you talk about the target size, then first target comes at 655. And if stock breaks this level, then 715 would be our ultimate target. Means again 13 to 14% of return that one can expect from this counter.
All right, Hindalco on the charts. Coming to you, Rabinder, Devyani International is the name that you picked out for us. Tell us why the counter, what is the news flow here? That's up and away 4% in trade today.
Devani International is in focus. The board of directors of the company is scheduled to be held on April 24, 2025 to consider and approve the definitive agreement and issue of equity shares of the company on preferential basis to discharge the consideration payable for acquisition of controlling equity stake in Skygate Hospitality Private Limited, operating restaurants under the brand name Biryani by Kilo and other brands. And Kotak Security has also come out with a note on Devyani International where they have maintained their buy rating on the stock with target price of rupees 190. They believe that the Biryani by Kilo has the potential to emerge as a large national biryani QSR brand in the long term. So back of this new stock is up over 4%.
Alright, that's about Devyani Internationals. But with this, viewers, it's once again time to slip into a very short break. We'll be right back with more. Welcome back to Market Fatafat right here on ET Now, where we are discussing counters and highlighting the buzzers with our team of researcher as well as our technical expert. And Kunal, I'm coming to you for your next stock, and that is Apollo Hospitals. Tell us, how do you see the stock moving ahead?
Well, if you talk about this particular stock, the way stock has been trading on its daily chart, right now trading at 7,163. Recently given a breakout of its previous two top, which was placed at 6,990. Not only this, stock has been trading and then after rising channel formation, so it seems that the stock may approach its all-time high, which is placed at 7,528. So stock looks very attractive. Not only this, if you talk about the momentum indicator, then after a long time RSI just entered into its 70 overbought zone, which really indicates about the momentum theory is on it is on working side. So definitely the way stock has been trading on a daily chart, weekly chart, I think one should get into the stock at present level. Downside strong support comes at 6,890, and the way stock has been trading, I think we may see a good upside momentum up to the level of 7,370, and if stock breaks this level, then 7,700 would be there. So somewhere around 7 to 8% of return that we can expect from this counter looks very attractive with strict stop loss of 6,890.
All right, with that, we're completely timed out on this edition of Market Fatafat. All the guests, Kunal, Rabinder, Ansh, thank you so much for joining us today and Samit in the previous segment. We will let you go on that note, but before we wrap up this edition, we're leaving you with this educational chunk. Shristi and I will take your leave. Thank you so much for tuning in. But for Mutual Fund Sahi Hai, that presents a Smart Nivesh Sahi Nivesh partnered by Times Network, we bring you a special segment that is designed to simplify investing by busting some of the most common myths around mutual funds. And a myth that we are busting today is one doesn't need to change the SIP amount once started. Is that really true? Let's clear this confusion and uncover the facts.
Hello and welcome to Mutual Fund Sahi Hai presents Smart Nivesh Sahi Nivesh partnered by Times Network, and this special segment is called Mutual Fund Simple Hai. Now, the idea behind this segment is to go out there to look at certain statements that are made about mutual funds and to find out whether these statements are facts or are they myths. And the statement that we're going to be looking at today: once you start your SIP into mutual funds, you cannot change the amount. Now, is it a myth or is it a fact? Before I speak to our expert for the day, let's go out and hear what the public has to say.
It's possible to change the SIP amounts once started. It depends on the individual whether it wants to go for a bigger amount or a smaller amount.
It can be changed as far as I know.
No, I don't think so that again. I think we should be able to add more funds whenever additional is available.
Yes.
हाँ बदला जा सकता है.
Yeah, one can change as per his need.
That's not true.
No, nothing like that. That 500 rupees only I increased to almost 5,000 now. I've been increasing it every year.
All right, we heard what the people of India have to say on that statement. Now, joining me in studio today is Pankaj Matpal, who's a certified financial planner. Pankajji, you tell us this statement that once you start a SIP into mutual funds, that amount cannot be changed. Now, is it a myth or is it a fact?
Sumit, it is a myth actually, because you can definitely change your amount. You can increase the SIP amount, and you should, because if you want to achieve some goal and you have a time horizon, say 10 years, 15 years, you understand because of inflation, the cost keep on increasing. So if you start with a smaller amount and over a period of time your income increases, you should increase the SIP amount as well. So one thing that manually you can increase the SIP amount, you can start a fresh SIP in the same folio, or you can take the help of step-up SIP. Step-up or top-up SIP means you decide initially that what percentage or what a fixed amount you want to increase your SIP every year. So if, for example, you started SIP of 5,000 rupees per month initially, and you decided that your SIP amount will increase by 10% every year, it means every year for 12 months, say 5,000 rupees per month. In next year, it will increase by 10%. So on, your SIP amount will keep increasing. And one must do it because we understand that if you have money, surplus money available with you,
right,
and you have to achieve your goal, two benefits are there. One, that maybe that you will be able to create more wealth. Second thing, whatever goal is there in your mind, you may be able to achieve it earlier than the planned, because if you invest more or you top up that.
Good. That's very important, sir. Also, one query people often have is that their SIP is going on. It's a regular thing. They're disciplined investors and they've gotten some extra funds like a bonus or incentive at work or a gift from someone. Sometimes they wonder, can they add to that same folio, to that same scheme that they're investing in which the SIP is there? So is that also possible?
Definitely, there's a lot of flexibility in mutual funds. You can do that. If you are doing SIP, along with that, you want to top up, you have a lump sum amount available, you can do in the same scheme, same folio. But at the same time, if you have different objective, for example, for long-term financial goals, you have started SIP in certain schemes. And now you have lump sum amount available which you want to invest for a different objective. For example, for your retirement, for your children education, you are doing SIP regularly. But now you have lump sum amount available which you want to invest for your vacation planning. And you have some different schemes in your mind. You can do that as well. So choice is yours. There is a lot of flexibility depending on your objective investment, risk appetite, or your financial goal. You can decide it. But the question was whether you can invest in the same folio. Yes, in the same folio, same scheme, what is called top up.
Yes.
You can do it.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much, sir, for talking to us and for clearing the air on that. So, ladies and gentlemen, as you have clearly seen that the statement that once you have started an SIP into a mutual fund, that amount cannot be changed, that is a myth. And we have busted that myth here on Mutual Fund Sahi Hai presents Smart Nivesh, Sahi Nivesh, partnered by Times Network. Thank you so much for watching.
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.
All right, now it's time to get you an ET Now exclusive, wherein sources say that the government's monetization drive will take a hit due to volatility in the markets, as Deepam believes it will go slow on the listing of PSU's green arm. Now, Prakash Priyadarshi is here with more details on the same. Prakash, over to you.
Yeah, we're learning from our sources that the government is likely to go slow on listing of various PSUs green arm during FY26. That's an important development coming in. We're given to understand that the process is likely to be delayed due to prevailing market conditions. In fact, sources are suggesting that the listing process will be fast-tracked if market conditions improve, and PSUs will remain extra cautious amid volatile market conditions. As you are aware that the government is planning to list green arms of various PSUs such as ONGC, NLC and SJVN, and sufficient gap will be maintained between two listings. However, SJVN and NLC have already started working on a listing process, but they'll hit the market at the appropriate time. Deepam feels that the prevailing market conditions are not favorable, and therefore the PSUs will remain extra cautious. SJVN is planning to raise approximately 4,000 crore through listing of its green arm, whereas NLC also plans to raise a fund from the market along with the expansion of its capacity, renewable energy capacity, which is likely to cross 6 gigawatt by 2030.
Well, with that, it's curtains done on this edition of Market Fatafat. Shrishti and I will take a leave. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't go anywhere. Market action continues on ET Now.